And we are live. Welcome, welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you in our 15th community update with Fred Antunes. He's actually joining us in a few seconds. Let's wait a bit so more people can join us. Today is an exciting day, so Fred is already here with us. Welcome, Fred. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely great, more excited than ever.
It's a pleasure to be here with you and to host this one of the most important community updates so far. Um, Guys, I know you're excited too, so make sure to stay present until the end and leave your questions on the live chat, both here and on Twitter. We're also streaming this on Twitter. We are very, once again, excited to share what we have been building for the last months. And shall we start, Fred?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Or do you think we should wait some more?
No. We can go.
Let's
People will
go.
follow, and those who will not see it live will see it later, so it's fine.
So, do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, well,
What do you want to do?
it's the first time you are doing a community update after so many years working
Yes,
here,
it's my
right?
first time.
So
It's my first time.
for those who are watching us, she's a bit nervous, but we are going to try to help as much as possible. So we empower almost everyone in the team to be able to do this. So yeah, I'm here more to answer your questions, and you take the lead, and I'll follow.
Yeah. So for those who don't know me, I think you know me. I'm Andrea Malta, the community manager for the past 2 years. This is my first time. I hope I came here more times in the future. And for those who have been following RealFevr, we have seen some hints of Chapman, the Queen, which came with the recruiter friend. So what are these characters, Fred, and why are they important? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so basically in the last year, the biggest challenge in Real Fever was what are we going to do next? What is the next big thing that we can do? Because if you take a look in the past, when we deployed the token, it has a huge success. When we deployed the drops and the packs, it was a huge success. And during Fever Battle Arena, it was also a success, but not following the market. And I think Battle Arena could be much bigger than what it is right now if the crypto market will not be, in the conditions that we all know. And our challenge as a company and as a team, and for me personally as a CEO, is what is the next big thing that we can do, not only to prepare the company to serve the next bull run and be one of the first to be on top of the wave, but also we cannot predict how much time will be needed for the next bull run. So as a company, we have the responsibility, we have the duty to deliver the right products and the right innovations, even if the market is not in the best possible condition. So our decision was, what can we do without taking care of the market appreciation? And whatever it happens in the market, we will do it anyways, and that's what we are about to announce. So a few months ago,
Yes, only
yeah,
yeah, only like that you can maintain like sustainability, because otherwise we will always be depending on the market fluctuations, which is not.
yeah, it's like at the moment, of course, we have a problem in the market because most of the companies, they will disappear, and in the next bull run, there will be new ones appearing. And maybe it's a bit tough to say it, but I think we are one of the survivors, right? And if we can survive 2, 3 bear markets, definitely, every time we get a new valuation, we will be growing. So the idea here was, how can we reinvent each other, ourselves, and provide the best possible solutions for our community, for our investors, for our followers, for the people who have around us, and even for our haters, because we need to please them too. We need to give them something that they can criticize, while we are growing. So of course that is something that is also important.
And so what was the solution? What did you thought about?
Yeah, so there was like two problems since the beginning, two problems that we never solved out. The first one was, what is the reason for Fever to exist? Besides being a token, besides being the fuel of RealFevr, what is the reason why it exists? You know, why we did it, and we never answered that question. Well. The second one is Battle Arena was empty of a beautiful storyline that could glue the pieces, like in many other games in the gaming industry. So we are not trying to position Battle Arena into a AAA game because that demands millions of investment, and it's not our expertise. But in the category of indie games, or secondary games that people can play, have fun, and win something out of it, definitely it's where we want to position ourselves. So in the last couple of months, we revealed a bit of the lore behind all of this. And if you remember, the packs, the hand of Chapman was already there. The refer a friend with a queen was already present. But I'm not here to unveil that much about the lore, because I think people will enjoy it, week after week, while they are enjoying the game, and they will discover the storyline as we evolve. But technically speaking, this is going to be a completely revamp of what we have been doing. And today, we forget forever the name Fever Battle Arena, and there will be a new name for a new product that we are going to deploy.
And can you reveal already the name?
Yeah, definitely. Before I do that, let me say this. We are going to transform RealFevr. And RealFevr, since the foundation, it was a publisher and a product at the same time, the same brand. So the most important and crucial thing to announce today is we are splitting RealFevr, deploying a new brand in the market, and RealFevr stands for a publisher like Blizzard or Activision. We have that ambition, of course, and then there will be the product. And the product, I can show the first teaser that we have to talk about it, and then we dig about it. So here we go.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Most bad things in life have a silver lining, even the rupture. It brought both chaos and opportunity. Humanity was forced to create a way to divide its most precious new resource. And while most of us used it for good, some used it for evil. Now, our heroes must rise up and fight for humanity. For Organya.
Powerful one. You need just a teaser.
Yeah,
It's just a teaser.
yeah, exactly. So Organia is basically, I'm going to change all the environment here. So yeah, that's it. So Organia is the brand new product of RealFevr, which converts RealFevr into a publisher, and Organia as the game. So the new website, organia.world, should be already live. I'm going to broadcast it later. And in terms of brand and design, definitely I'm going to show the logo, so you should get used to it, because Organya is going to be the place that in the next couple of years you should be there.
Yeah, and RealFevr was all about the players and the moments, and we see this teaser that we can see it at the end, the players. So they will have a crucial, like they are still important. Like it will not change. The players will always be the focus?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was one of our challenges, because if you take a look at the first community update, we always said that we wanted the football players and the sports players, the professional athletes, to be in the upper level and not only in the field. And the challenge in the last 2 years was, okay, we are bringing immortality to the moments, we are doing the packs, they are minted into the blockchain. So this storyline was already here, but now it's the time, to push it forward. And players are always the heroes of this narrative, right? Players are always the central role into the game and into Organia, but Organia brings a new challenge for humanity, a new challenge for mankind. The storyline is a few years after 2023, so we want not only people, to collect football players because of the beauty of they do in the field, but now we want to give them a new virtual and a new completely emulated reality where they will have the major role, of course. So they are the leading actors, but we are just giving them the ecosystem for them to shine outside the field in the physical world.
Okay, sounds sounds very great. And you talk about ecosystem. So, what will be the changes? So, what will RealFevr as a publisher englobe, and what will Organia?
So
How can
in the next couple of weeks, RealFevr.com will be transformed into a full publisher website with an institutional layout explaining what we do as a company, right? And Organya will have everything migrated from RealFevr.com will be migrated to Organia.world, and that's basically the most important place where the users will interact with. So RealFevr will be the company who raises capital, who gets investment, as a publisher. That's what we do there. But the product for the end consumer will be definitely Organia and Organia World. And also, I can share, of course, the new landing page. It's really in the beginning,
okay?
but you can take the advantage of visit it right now. Just give me a second, and it should be live in a minute. So
I think everyone is privileged to be in this very early stage of knowing everything, knowing this, being at this stage to experience RealFevr's evolution, which is
yeah,
great.
definitely this was a tough work from the whole team, and it's important to say thank you to the whole team who's watching us or will watch us later, because we did this in almost 10 to 6 months, and it's really a privilege to be part of a team like the one we have in RealFevr, definitely. So this is a landing page. We are going to add new content every week, or even less. And of course, I'm going to invite everyone to follow the new Twitter page that is already created, and we are just publishing it live now. As you see, I didn't follow. I'm going to follow right now because I didn't want any.
Everyone does the same.
Yeah. I didn't want to anyone to notice that this will be here. But yeah, it's here, and please follow.
RealFevr will maintain its social media channels, right?
So yeah,
So
exactly. So RealFevr will have exactly the same media channels. Telegram and Discord will be the same. We are not going to fork it, but Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are going to be forked. So the new users who arrive will arrive to this fresh, brand new interface and ecosystem called Organia.
okay, great. And again, about the teaser, we saw that it was about something that people was eagering, and everyone wants to fight for it to save Organya. They need to burn something. Can you explain what it means actually to Fever token? Because it will also you will remain the fuel of the ecosystem. But
Yeah. Well, I can't reveal that much at this stage because Fever V2 will have a specific live event, and probably we will do a community update just fully dedicated to Fever. I want to do that definitely. But for those who are in the community in the last couple of months, they know that when they play Battle Arena, back to the time of Battle Arena, we were burning Fever real time, right? And what we wanted to do with this rebranding into Organia is really to push the burn mechanisms and create a tokenomics model where not only the token is deflationary by design, but above all, the whole economic incentive around a fever holder becomes much better and more attractive. So the play to burn is definitely a concept that I tweeted a few months ago, as you probably remember, and it is this new concept of play to burn that we are pushing. But I also can reveal a very important sentence that it will be always present, which is we must burn fever to keep Organia alive. So Organia has an ecosystem. People will understand it later when they understand the lore, where if we don't burn fever, Organia can be in trouble. And that's exactly where everyone can gather, to keep Organia alive, burning fever in Minoan.
wow. And for the game aspect, we were talking about burning fever while playing. Will there be new game modes?
Say again?
Will there be new game modes?
Yeah, okay. Product features. I already spoke about the lore. Now I want to speak about product features. Why we believe that Organia as a game will have a huge traction. And I don't want to reveal everything, but I have 3 screenshots of the new version of the game that I want to show off right now. But before I do it, I have to say thank you to all the beta testers that for more than 1 year have been with us, trying out the game, reporting bugs, and being always involved. So before we release Organya, we are today releasing a beta version, a release candidate of Organya for all our beta testers, those who have been with us for 1 year. So they will be all able to try out this before the official release. But let's go to the screenshots. So the first thing that we tried to solve out into the game was the onboarding process. So we understood and we realized that with Battle Arena, the onboarding was not strong enough. People could not understand exactly how they could play Battle Arena immediately and how to manage the decks, create competitive decks. And sometimes after 2-3 games, they just churned because they didn't understand it. So Organia will have an onboarding procedure of 3 stages where you will need to understand the game basics in the training academy. Then you will need to do a friendly match, in a more advanced play mode, and then there will be a third one where in fact you should be prepared, to play against your friends and participate in tournaments. Regarding to the tournaments, and this is probably the biggest thing that we are changing into the ecosystem, is the way that tournaments will work. So we completely reinvented, we collected all the feedback during this year, and there will be 3 things very important. The first one, people will be able to play with different coins, and Organia will be multi-coin by design, of course giving special privileges when you do things with Fever, but you will be able to collect rewards in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, and in BNB. The second one is we are bringing the multipliers. And what is the multipliers? It means that for a certain period of the month, there will be tournaments that will give you +5 or +10 rewards versus the nominal value that you will receive. Let's say that the reward for a specific tournament will be 1 Bitcoin. there will be some special events that it will be 10 bitcoins because it does 10x, right? So we believe that pushing the economic incentive forward will be a strong motivation for people, to study, to build good decks, and to be more competitive. And in the same way, these kind of features are much more aligned with Web3 and crypto in general, rather than just Web2 gaming, where the relation with the user and the publisher is just unilateral. The third thing is, besides survival mode that was already announced and some people already tried out in the beta, playoffs are finally here. So tournaments for 32 players or more will be available, which with huge rewards, and that's part of our marketing investment, is really to push the rewards, and compensate the people that spends more time here. It's important to say that this is always a game of skill. So what we are doing here is, um, on top of a game of skill, which is Organia, we are creating a decentralized wagering protocol where everyone can play and challenge each other and make money out of it, not only in Fever but also in other coin. And that's basically what we really want to push. Besides that, all the game stats and leaderboards and everything was completely redesigned. And this is packed also with updates that we have been doing in RealFevr.com in the last couple of weeks, exactly to prepare the launch of Organya.
So this is basically Fever Battle Arena in steroids. It's actually another level of the gaming experience. In the competition itself, it will be driving driving. I don't know. People will just want to compete.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's not. Of course, prizes are always a driver, but I think the whole atmosphere will push people to come and play. And also the mobile version, right?
Yeah.
That it's also
I can.
in the first stage.
Yeah. I brought this comment here because I want to reply straightforward to it. One of the commitments that we have with our board and with our equity investors was really to push the mobile version as fast as possible. And we already revealed some snapshots about the mobile game. At the moment, the mobile game is already working, is not ready to all devices. So the devices with a bigger screen or the devices with the stylus are already 100% prepared, and very very soon we are going to upload it to Play Store and open a private beta once again for our beta testers to try out the mobile version, because we want to scale this up as best as possible and allow people with mobility. You can go in your car and you can play Organya, and if there is a tournament, and you are on vacation in Ibiza, you can get your mobile phone and participate in a tournament and play. So we want to short the distance between how easy it is to play the game and the game in fact. And mobile version, I think, for the next 30 to 60 days will be also available after the first release of Organya for personal computer, for desktop.
Okay, nice. And about streamers, do you plan to, again, on the marketing side, do you plan to onboard some streamers to show, maybe on Twitch? Do you think Pure Battle Arena makes sense to show, for example, on Twitch?
Yeah,
what do you think?
Definitely.
Definitely.
This reposition of the brand for Organia, the most important thing is we are, bringing fresh new blood to the market with something that was designed originally for it. So Battle Arena was, as you remember, a pilot and an improvisation that we did, to bring utility to the NFTs. But 1 year after, we have much more expertise, much more knowledge into gaming design rather than we had 1 year ago. So it's the moment to jump in to conquer our piece of the market, and definitely not only Twitch, but the most rewardable thing at this stage is when we pitch Organia to influencers, the feedback is much faster rather than when we were pitching just the packs or just Battle Arena. So the insights are good at the moment.
And I'm also excited to see our
We're having some cuts.
it's again, Fred. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, now I can.
I thought it was me or no problem. So I was saying that we want our own streamers because our community for having access to the game, and they are very pros. Like you actually said that they are better than you. Like some of them are better than you when playing Battle Arena.
Yeah, I can give you two names. It's like every time I think about Organya, is always I always think about Swergy and Vladka, because I think during this 1 year of beta, they were they were really amazing players, and the way that they build their decks was far beyond what we imagined when we created the game, in terms of game design and game statistics and everything. So those guys will need to be multiplied, but at the same time we are creating the right economic incentives, for more people to follow them and even to push them to improve themselves. So definitely it's something that should follow.
Okay, nice. So should we go for the question? Do you think we should talk or maybe I think that one of the favorite questions from our community is when? When? I'm not sure we have a date ready, right? But we have a time frame when we think we'll.
As you know, the team usually never lets me to commit with a date, but I'm going to do it, so everybody has the pressure that the CEO announced the date, and then it must be done in that way. Organya will be released for beta testers today, tomorrow. The release candidate is not yet 100% done, but it's stable at the moment. And by the end of September, first week of October, it will be live for sure.
Okay, perfect.
It's not a date, but it's a time frame.
It's a time frame. So everyone can have access already to the landing page, which is Organia.world. You can already go there, subscribe to get exclusive emails. And maybe we can jump up to the chats and see what people are saying. Okay, some excitement about Organia. Nice to see. One interesting question that I think that the new game modes will solve. It's hard to find games without setup one on Discord, because I think that different decks will give different type of prizes, right? So people will want to battle with higher deck rates.
So of course, those who have there will be tournaments to all the type of stars, right? So from 2 to 5 stars, there will be tournaments for that. But of course, it makes sense that the biggest reward goes to the tournaments of 5 stars decks, right? We are not going to push it hard through that direction, but at the same time, we want to compensate people with 5 stars deck, because it's really where the biggest challenge is, right? So it should be dynamic in terms of rewards, but we are going to push it smoothly.
Okay. And still about the games, it's about fantasy. How will this, is fantasy related to Organia or just related to RealFevr?
No. So once again, in this brand reposition, RealFevr is a publisher who has multiple products in the market, and in the market we have Organia and we have the Fantasy, and they are completely two different products. One is for Web 2 for a specific market, for a specific activation, and Organia is for Web 3, innovation, future, everything.
Okay, will there be two tokens, Organia and Fever?
No, no. That is a commitment that I can make with you. As long as I'm the CEO of RealFevr, there will be no new tokens. It will be much easier to create a new token. Probably we will do a lot of money with it, but it's not the way we behave. The way we behave is to say thank you for the people who is still here 2 or 3 years after, you know, and work out with a token that we believe is the correct path. So if you take a look at Bitcoin, we had to wait 12 years to see it as $60,000. Here you are just waiting 2 years. So 10 more until we get those levels. Of course, if we can short it to 3 or 4, it's okay. But our commitment is with Fever. And once again, there will be a specific live for Fever. Also, what Fever means, FEVR, because it's a very important topic, and we will cover it in another call.
Okay, nice. And what about the queen? Is the queen the queen of Organya? The queen from Recruit a Friend, is it the queen of Organya?
So if I tell you the whole story, it's not funny. It's much better if every user spends a bit of time trying to research for it. But what I can say at the moment is Organia has factions, and Organia has characters, of course. And Chapman stands for the packs and the drops, and there is a storyline around Chapman. And the queen, she has a name, of course. I can't say the name at this stage. She has a face and she has a role. Besides, also, if you take a look at Yankar, which is a product that is already deployed, I'm going to share because sometimes people ignores, this kind of information. But I can speak a bit about Yankar because I think Yankar is the one that is further in terms, or it is ahead in terms of communication. If you take a look at Yankar, and I'm sharing the screen right now, Yankar is an anagram for the Rogue Syndicate. And the Rogue Syndicate, this was the first product that we built over Yankar. But if you read the text down here, Yankar, the Rogue Syndicate, is a clandestine underground society ruled by the Lord of Chance, whose members are anonymous. Their mysterious and dark initiatives embody their joy for the thrill of the game, and its members are united by the veils of chaos, greed, and power. So, Yankar represents the dark side of Organya and has this nickname of the Rogue Syndicate. And I can reveal one of the things that we will do with Yankar. Yankar is going to be a private club, the Rogue Syndicate, and the biggest whales of Fever will have a major role into the Yankar decisions and into Organia decisions. So I'm not talking about the decentralized autonomous organization. I don't think we need to push that, but definitely we want anonymously to be much more in touch with the biggest whales of Fever than what we have been in the last 2 years. And the Rogue Syndicate is just the perfect place to do that.
And a great question here. Will it be available on the game Organia on both Apple and Android?
Well, I wish we could do Apple and Android at the same time. Technologically speaking, we are ready to go to both platforms, but I think Android will be faster because in Apple, all the code must be reviewed, and probably we will need to fix up some pieces of the code because, as you know, crypto NFTs tokens into the stores is somehow complex, but definitely we will push it. So I don't want to commit with that, but we will try. We will give our best to have Apple App Store and Play Store available by the end of the year. If we can do it,
Yeah.
I will push. I will push it.
Yeah, but there's good news on the market that Android has allowed apps to integrate NFTs and to be downloaded from their stores, which is a step up. And some people can say, "Oh no, these markets it will go away," but it's the contrary. It's showing some evolution.
It technically speaking, in terms of customer journey, it will not be possible to have an app with everything connected with the tokens and the NFTs and everything. So the marketplace, for you to buy and sell the moments, probably you will still need to go to your desktop computer and operate with it. Or if you want to use Trust Wallet, you can do it through Trust Wallet. But the way we designed it, if you take a look at the computer version, the desktop version at the moment, you have a fetch login. So with that fetch login, you download the game into your mobile, and then you put the fetch login, and all the interface is there. So we already built the fetch login thinking about the mobile versions.
Okay. This last question, if you guys have more, please write it down now. There will be factions. So you talk about it already, right? We will not reveal them yet.
No.
But there will be.
I can share my personal point of view here. I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. A huge fan of all the lore around World of Warcraft. As you know, I played for many, many years. And of course, a game is not only lore, but lore has an important role on it. And in the last 2 years, we have been ignoring it completely. So in terms of brand activation and in terms of communication, special characters people will be able to be connected with. So when you look at Lord of the Rings, probably some people will more connect to elves instead of dwarfs. Some people will appreciate more dwarfs, and some people will love hobbits, right? So that's exactly the type of lore that we want to bring here, but for Organia, our own version of it. So the team have been working a lot into this, and factions, will be a natural evolution of the ecosystem. And time after time, in every new release, someone new will come.
Nice. Yes, I agree with you that people like to be connected emotionally with something, and having all just rational, just prizes and wins and losses, it's not enough for people to be grounded to something. So if we have this connection with characters, it will be much more addictive. And I can't wait to choose my faction when they're all revealed. So in the next weeks, there will be more announcements, not announcements, but sneak peeks about the story itself. So you guys want to be tuned, and don't forget to follow all social media channels. You were showing a Dragon V comment.
Yeah. It's a very good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to clarify better this split, will our collectibles be Organia NFTs or RealFevr NFTs? Do you think they will be used in other products in the future? This is a very, very smart question, and there will be no Organia NFTs or RealFevr NFTs. The NFTs, the moments, are minted into the blockchain. So they are bonded to a specific smart contract that, of course, was deployed by RealFevr, but we don't control it. You control it as a user. So we are going to use them and give them this specific utility into Organia, but nothing says that they cannot be used in another platform. And in the same way around, nothing says that we cannot integrate other collections into Organia if it makes sense in the whole ecosystem. So we want to open Organia as big as possible, and just maybe a complex metaphor, but what I have in my mind is when you have an exchange, you list tokens in there because you give them, utility. You can trade them, right? But into the gaming ecosystem, there is no place where people can play with multiple collections, well integrated. So I don't know if Organia is going to be that place or not, but definitely we will try out, to import coaches or to import special abilities or to import special whatever from CryptoPunks or Bored Apes, because we want those communities to be part of Organia and have a place in Organia to operate with, So it's a very nice question, and it's something that is already in our strategy.
Yes, and it's a nice solution for utility for their NFTs, because they have their utilities, but being part of the gaming community will be the step up for them. Yes, this is a funny question, which is, in a scenario where thousands or billions of games are played, which will be, how do you prevent all tokens from disappearing?
So that is a marvelous question, because if we have that problem, it's just perfect, right? We already spoke about that internally, and as an entrepreneur, I like to reply a lot of times that we solve problems when we have them. So we have in the present so many problems to solve out, that if that problem becomes a huge problem in the future, then we will think about the solution for it. But for now, I just hope that this question becomes a fact, a reality, that we will need to think about how to solve it out.
Yes. And I think that's it. Thank you all for the questions. And for this to happen, we need you guys to help us on spreading the word. As we launch the new social media channels from Organya, we will need to have some traction. So make sure to retweet, share with your friends, everything you can to help us out. Together we are stronger. This was a sentence that I used to use, and I still use. Together we are stronger, and we just need to be together and push it to the next level. Because from our side, the RealFevr team side, we are very committed. Fred, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, just last words. Of course, I have to say thank you very much to all the people who have been with us in the last years. We never gave up. And even for those who sometimes started to disbelieve, I hope now with Organya, they have now a new perfect fit for them. And, success is always about experimentation. And if there is a huge asset we have in this company, is our ability to experiment and give the face when the things go right, and also give the face when the things go wrong. So Organia is something that we believe that is a huge opportunity to change the market and to position our company even better, or much better than what we have right now. But if something does not go immediately as we were expecting, we are ruthless and tough people with ourselves, that we will never give up. So that's the biggest commitment we can have with the community.
In Portuguese, we say, nós somos osso duro de roer.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are a very strong-minded people, that we know what we want to do and we will do it. So we just appreciate all your support, guys, and thank you once again for your presence. Make sure to follow our social media on Organia. Go to organia.world. You'll check there the social media links. Subscribe and stay tuned for the next updates on Organya and on RealFevr as well. Thank you so much. And the last question is, will you lead the fight? So be prepared. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very
Fred.
much.
Nice.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.